It's car con carne. Let's eat in the car. It's car con carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Alstyne.
And here we go. It's episode 600. Welcome to Car con Carne, sponsored by our friends at Siren Records in McHenry. I am going to Siren Records in McHenry. I haven't figured out if I'm going Saturday or Sunday, but I need to get that new Gojira album and just spend time there. Spend time browsing the stacks of music. I always love, right when you walk in Siren Records, right on the right side of the door, that's all the stuff they recently acquired. And that's always a gold mine. That's where I find tons of cool shit. I got the Ziggy Marley Conscious Party album last time I walked in there. It was in that section. They go deep on metal and punk. They've got tons of cassettes. If you're into that, cassettes are back. They've got a wall of cassettes. I love going there. It is my Smithsonian. Siren Records McHenry. Thanks to them for being part of episode 600 or 600 if you prefer. So I'm James Van Alstyne. This is 7 years in the making, 600 episodes. Tonight is the night of 1,000 stars, which will be more like 25 or 30, but it sounded way cooler to say night of 1,000 stars. I'll be joined starting in a few minutes by guests nonstop between now and 10:30. No real agenda. We're just going to kind of wing it with all these guests. It's going to be awesome. And to be clear, I've never been one to want to throw my own party, but I recognize that this is kind of a milestone that a lot of podcasts don't reach. And on top of it all, episode 600 is happening the same night as a pink supermoon. This was meant to be. Now, here's the thing about podcasting. Anyone can do it. When I say a lot of podcasts don't hit episode 600, it's true, but anyone can do it. Anyone can do a podcast. I'm recording into a Sennheiser microphone right now. Very swanky, cool microphone. But for all intents and purposes, I could get just as far recording a podcast into my cell phone, just doing voice notes or something. The barrier for entry for podcasting is ridiculously low. It's never been lower. It's I did an interview last night or yesterday afternoon for the History of Alternative podcast with Raymond Watts of Pig and Chris Connolly of Revolting Cocks and Ministry. And we talked about the democratization of the music business, how anyone can get in, anyone can record. And it's been true with podcasting too, broadcasting in general. Democratization, anyone who has the inclination, who has the urge, can create their own show. I tried, when the pandemic started, when we all started the sheltering in place, being stuck at home, I tried to encourage people to podcast, to join the ranks of podcasters. I volunteered my help and services, and some people took me up on it. But the thing about podcasting is it does require a fair amount of dedication, tenacity, stubbornness, and part of that requires the host, a podcaster, to look past disappointing audience numbers in the beginning, because they are disappointing. They're soul-crushingly low from the beginning. Hosts who do podcasts, people who decide to do podcasts, start out doing it for the love of the game. If they start out doing it for money and financial reward, it quickly becomes disappointing. And that's why you see a lot of people fall off. Through my stubbornness and tenacity, I'm still here 7 years later, episode 600. For the past 13 months, I've been doing this podcast from right here at home, quarantine, con carne. And originally the plan for tonight was to do episode 600 in my car, as my podcast was recorded for the first 6 years. I did my podcast in my Mazda 3, meeting guests outside local city and suburban restaurants, brew pubs, grabbing our food to go, sitting in the front seat of the car, do an interview and do it over dinner. My goal was to do that for tonight. I don't think the world's quite ready for that. I put out some feelers for guests and participating restaurants. I think once we get a little further in our vaccinated world, it'll be time. Tonight's not the time, and I'm perfectly cool doing this the night of 1,000 stars from home for episode 600 of Car con Carne. So a little bit of background of Car con Carne, how this all started. And some people may have heard me say this before. You may have read it on the website, carconcarne.com. I started this show back in May of 2021 minus 7 years, 2014, with my friend Mike Braden. He and I worked together at Q101 and later at 94.7 The Zone, both stations completely gone from the FM band. But we started it together. We worked together. He is a voiceover artist without peer. You've heard him on movie trailers. You've heard him in national commercials. A really successful dude, really good at what he does. And when we started the show, the concept was we wanted to go to barbecue restaurants. And at the time, Chicago especially was in the midst of a barbecue boom. There were barbecue restaurants popping up everywhere. And so we decided we wanted to start a podcast where we would record just us talking at local barbecue restaurants. We realized pretty early on that the ambient noise in restaurants and just the logistics made that impossible. And so he had the idea, because he's a voiceover guy. He said, when I'm not at home and I need to record, this is a guy who knows everything about studios and studio equipment. He said, when I'm not at home and I need to record, I duck into my car. I always carry my laptop and a microphone with me. Being inside a car is as close to being in a soundproof space as I can get when I'm not near a studio. And with that, the idea for Car Con Carne was essentially born. We would record inside a car and take the food from the restaurants we were going to visit into the car. And that's what we did together, Mike and I, for the first year. And then because he is, as mentioned, a very successful voiceover talent, he was summoned to live in New York. It made more sense for him from a career perspective to move out to Brooklyn and be closer to his agents and anyone who hires voiceover artists. So that left me solo. And, throughout any entrepreneurial endeavor, there are inflection points along the way. And my choice was kill the podcast after he moved, take on a new co-host, or go at it solo. And here we are. I've been solo for 6 years. And I kind of like the rotating bodies that I talk to every week or every show. It keeps me fresh. I think it keeps it interesting as well. And because we've been in the quarantine for the past 13 months, my weekly format switched to nightly. This is yet another night of Quarantine Con Carne. And I've really enjoyed this type of dialogue, doing video streaming like this, turning these video chats into audio episodes. So when I do return to the car, it's forthcoming, it will happen. When I do return to the car, I also reserve the right to the desire to keep doing things like this, because as much as I want to have people in my car, I'm realistic in that not everyone can join me in my car. In fact, a lot of the guests I had over the past year aren't local to Chicago, and they couldn't have possibly jumped in my car, like Chris Franz of Talking Heads or Michael Shannon. So I'm going to go back to the car, but I'm also going to do these too, because it's easy and it makes it so that I can have access to people who otherwise can't sit in my Mazda 3 and share jalapeno poppers and chicken tenders with me. Tonight, we are live streaming on both YouTube and Facebook. Once this is all said and done, I will have in my hands a gigantic audio file, which I'll need to figure out what to do with. I'll need to turn it into a podcast episode or a series of episodes. Whatever that becomes, it's going to be a nightmare of audio work for me. I'm a team of one, actually a team of two tonight. My pal Giorgio Reyes is producing tonight, which I greatly appreciate. Could not have done that without him tonight. So if you're waiting for the audio podcast, give me a day or two just to catch. When I'm done with this tonight, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the bathroom. It's going to be a long night. Second thing, I'll probably have dinner. I probably won't edit audio from this for a couple days, at least. It's interesting. My guest list for tonight, it's a little all over the place, but it's a lot of people who've been on the show before, who've appeared on Car Con Carne over the past 7 years. What I found, I don't know if this is a pro tip. I've found that every time I book a quote unquote celebrity or a giant name for the podcast, the audience doesn't respond as well as they do to people from our community or just interesting people. I think having celebrities on Car Con Carne has been great, and it's helped legitimize what I've done here as a podcaster. It's helped attract more guests. But the podcast episodes that really resonate are with local bands, local people who genuinely enjoy the publicity. A lot of celebrities are at a level where publicity is just part of their day. They do junkets. They talk to everybody. And those interviews that get out into the universe aren't special or interesting or different. So I found, and I continue to actively pursue lesser known individuals, independent artists, people off the beaten track. It's been a pretty good strategy, and it's my comfort spot as well. True to everything I expected, my first guest is already late. I knew this was how it was going to start. But that's fine. Here, Giorgio, I'm going to put you on, okay? That's Giorgio Reyes, the producer.
I should unmute myself.
You should.
Yeah.
I knew it. I knew the ambitious effort of booking like 30 guests. I knew that something would derail it. I didn't think it would happen right out of the gate. I didn't think it would be within minutes of starting episode 600.
Yeah, I feel on the spot.
Well, you are on the spot.
Literally, yeah, I am.
I just see, this is the worst. When I did talk radio on WGN, it was the same thing. I can monologue for about 7 or 8 minutes. Then I hit that 10-minute point. I'm like, oh, fuck, I have nothing else. I'm out. I don't know where to go. I need another human being to talk to, there are radio personalities who could just bloviate in front of a mic for hours on end. They don't need any kind of sounding board, anyone to bounce stuff off of. They're good. Wind them up. I like having discourse. I like having a back and forth.
Yeah, you need that.
It's natural.
It's natural.
So actually, as we're talking, Giorgio, and this is part of the reason I dragged you on, I now need to open up my email. See, this is the difficulty of having a small staff. I need to email the guest who's in no-show right now. Bush League, I tell you. Bush League.
Honestly.
Subject, Donde está? Are you jumping on?
Well, now, if they don't speak Spanish.
I think he does.
Oh, okay, cool. Then we're good.
Is that appropriation? Am I doing something bad?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No, you won't get canceled.
It's a concern.
I mean, there's 5 hours of this. You might get canceled sometime.
It's like I was watching Bill Maher on a Friday night, and S.E. Cupp was one of his guests, the commentator from CNN, Republican commentator. And they were talking about life under the pandemic. And she said something like, it was like one big punch in the dick. And then she paused. She's like, I'm sorry, I haven't done this for a while. Like, we're all a little bit out of practice in dealing with people.
It's hard when you're at your home talking like you shouldn't be,
So that said, I'm going to make you go away. That's Giorgio Reyes. He's producing. And I would like to welcome to the show. I would call him the Car Con Carne MVP, really. He is a musician. He's a songwriter. He's a star. His latest album is the Hideout Sessions on Pravda Records. He is Smoking Pope's frontman, Josh Caterer.
James, always a pleasure.
Thank you for being here. For the record, you let's recap this here. You have appeared on Car Con Carne on episode 14, 39, 85, 178, 250, 284, 315, and 283. Josh Caterer.
Wow. Can you text those numbers to me? Because I want to go back and re-listen to all those.
That's right. Actually, not 283. I think that was 583. Whatever was right before the Hideout Sessions.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I remember I was on the show as a guest at least once before I played music on the show, right?
Right.
Was that the second time I was on or the third time I was on where I said, hey, how about I bring my guitar?
I think it was the second. That was when we went to the Texan.
The Texan, yeah, in Algonquin.
I
remember I suggested to you beforehand, hey, do you want me to should I bring a guitar? It was just a casual suggestion. Should I bring a guitar and play a song? And you were slightly freaked out at that suggestion.
It was just a logistical thing.
Because you seemed to doubt your own ability to capture that, be it limitations of your equipment or your own.
All the above. I don't know gear. I don't know mixing audio. I'm no Mike Fellamley.
it wasn't going to sound good, but I was convinced that if you simply point one microphone at the guitar and another one at my face, it's going to sound okay and we'll be fine. And it was. And it turned out to be a joyful experience for us, but also a happy sort of fork in the road for your podcast, because you started doing that on the regular.
It was a great change of direction. And it was not long after that when you created the Car Con Carne theme song, which people love and adore.
And that was a lot of fun. I recorded that with my friend David Benkert, who had a home studio and played drums on it. And I don't know if he gets props for that, but I'm officially registering his name in rock history by saying that he engineered and played drums on the Car Con Carne theme song.
Which, I mean, it's hard to write a good song in general, but to make an effective, catchy song in 30 seconds or less?
Well, the key is you start with the end in mind, right? And I knew that the song all hinged on a cathartic declaration of the name James Van Ostol. It all had to build up to an almost transcendent proclamation of James Van Ostol. And so it was all building toward that moment.
So the last time you were on, it was a preview of what became the Hideout Sessions, the recording of this recently released album, which I absolutely love. All these standards and some reimagined Smoking Pope songs. You're doing this again at Space.
We are doing this again. We decided we decided that the concept of the album was worth exploring even further, but that it would be cool to kind of move it around to different clubs in a way that might just sort of highlight the connectedness of the music community and the point a spotlight at different venues. So we're taking it to Space in Evanston, which is a lovely venue that I've always loved seeing shows there. I've played there once, and it's just a magical place to be. So that seemed like a logical next spot. And so what we're gonna do is going to be a virtual show that's going to be similar in many ways to what we did at the Hideout. We're going to perform a batch of songs that are, a combination of covers of older material and reimagined versions of songs that I've written for the Popes and for other projects. We have a couple extra special guests lined up for this one that are going to join me, that I think people are going to like. And it will eventually be released as an album called The Space Sessions.
I love that. Will you wear astronaut suits on stage?
If you think that's a good marketing idea.
I do. It's interesting. Looking at the Hideout Sessions, Megan made the list. I get the sense, just based on the frequency with which you perform the song, that is a personal Smoking Pope's favorite of yours.
Yeah, I enjoy singing it. People seem to like it, but it seemed like the kind of song that would do well with a slightly different approach. Like that's what I was when deciding which of my own songs to redo. I was just looking for things that, like, if you put a different spin on it, it seems to have to bring it to life somehow. And that was a song where simply we didn't change too much, except for that we cut the tempo down to halftime. So it instead of like bouncing along, it sort of like plods along in a more, in a more definite way that kind of gives a whole different feel to the song. And I really like that. It's like, holding up the diamond and turning it so you can see it from a different angle or something.
Now, are you and the other guys coalescing as a band now? You and the new Josh Caterer band, are you guys kind of coming together as a unit? I mean, you're still a new band. You still have that new band smell.
We do. Yeah. So we're, been getting ready for this next one and working on a new batch of material and we have had that discussion where we're starting to really feel like a band. With the Hideout Sessions, it was all like, that little awkward getting to know you dating stage, but we've now moved into the engagement courtship segment where we're really familiarizing ourselves with each other.
So will the space sessions be like the hideout sessions, empty room?
Yes. I don't think. What's your prediction on when we're going to be having indoor, in-person concerts again?
My guess is truly as good as yours. The answer is not soon enough, but also soon enough.
Right. Yeah, I mean, from talking to some different people in the biz, it seems like before the end of the year, people seem to be confident that, fourth quarter of this calendar year, we might be doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fully vaccinated. I'm ready to do stuff, but I know the world's not there yet.
Right. I'm fully vaccinated too. And we have clearance from the CDC that a bunch of fully vaccinated people can get together.
Right.
So now you just have to, in theory, if everybody who shows up has the little card, then we can gather with relative confidence. But still, does that mean you're going to go back to like standing shoulder to shoulder with strangers, holding the beer in front of you, and the aerosol cloud of the person next to you is actually landing in your beer?
Right. The one thing I won't welcome the return of, and I hope it doesn't come back, I hate handshakes.
Yeah.
Hate them. I mean, I'm fine with knucks. We could do that. We could do the elbow thing, whatever. But the sweaty, clammy handshake, the limp handshake, it all feels weird and vaguely icky.
I think this is a good time for us as a society to reassess the handshake.
Right.
Also, I've sort of started to like wearing a mask for certain reasons.
Well, you can sneer.
You can sneer.
You can make faces.
You can kind of. I occasionally have been known to mutter to myself under my breath, but then I've always been self-conscious that people are going to see my lips moving a little bit. But the mask covers that up, gives me the privacy that I require in a public setting.
Yeah, when you got your vaccine, when I got vaccinated, I didn't expect that it would feel as emotional as it did to me.
Yeah,
I kind of took a second, and I was awash in here we are. This is the finish line after this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can relate to that. There is a powerful emotional response to, among other things. And tell me if this was part of your experience. Was like I got the sense that I was sort of participating in an important like communal event, and I was one cell in that, but that it was a larger important event, like kind of how I felt like you go down to like the Chicago Marathon and you're standing there and you're one of the people that's like cheering on the runners. Like I would never actually run in the Chicago Marathon, but there's something powerful about being there. And there's just so many people. It's such a huge crowd, and you're all like participating in this triumphant thing. And like, you just feel connected to the larger group, even though, I don't know, it's not like all of them personally, but I felt like that was like, yes, we as a people have responded to this situation with a vaccine. This is how we as humans, rise up to meet this challenge. And I am happy to be part of that. As it says on that MC5 record, you have to decide whether you are going to be part of the problem.
Yes.
Or whether you are going to be part of the solution.
Yes, the MC5. Thank you, Josh Caterer. Hey, I didn't post my vaccination card or a picture of myself getting vaccinated as so many did for a lot of reasons. One of which being before I was vaccinated, whatever the public health version is of FOMO is, where you feel like you're missing out on something. I was starting to feel, I don't know, angry or bitter. Like, how come I can't get a vaccine? And this jamoke is. I started to get that kind of anxiousness, and I would get kind of resentful seeing all these pictures of people getting their vaccine or posting their vaccine card before I did.
Oh, so
like
you
a
didn't
FOMO
want
thing.
to be one of those people that was.
I didn't want to make other people feel bad. Right.
Yeah. I get that. I think that's valid.
It kind of felt like my face was being rubbed in it.
That's one. If you want to put a negative spin on it.
And I do. Yeah. Suck it up, potential disease carrier.
I chose more to be like, before I was able to get vaccinated, every time I saw somebody getting vaccinated, I would always sort of rejoice for that person and say, yes, more of us need to be doing this. I can't wait to get mine. And I wanted to be one more person who was willing to just stand up and say, like, this is good. We should be doing this. You know, I know some people who are at different places on the spectrum of vaccine hesitancy for different reasons. Not all of them political, just some of them personal. You know, and I just wanted to be. I respect wherever anybody's at, but if there's any extent to which I can be helpful in that I'm an example of a person who gets it and doesn't burst into flames or turn into a zombie, and this is actually a good thing. And here I am, you know, after I got my second dose, and I'm feeling good. Just like they said, you know, you're going to feel crummy for like a day afterwards, right, and you're going to be fine.
Well, one thing I'm learning, again, I already knew this as I'm listening to you say all this. You're a glass half full kind of guy. You're a positive force in the universe, Josh Caterer.
Well, that's why I think we balance each other out nicely.
That's right. I'm going to bring someone else on. He's someone we both know.
Neil.
That's right. Look at that. It's Tyler Wildey from Epic Deli.
Hey, man.
What's up?
Tyler Wildey, a guest on episodes 31, 44, 85, 120, 121, 138, 168, 192, and 578.
Woo!
That's near Caterer-like.
Almost.
This will be the second time that we're appearing on Car Con Carne together, right?
That's true.
So Epic Deli is a fantastic place. One of our favorite places, 2616 Shade Court in McHenry, home of the Smoking Pope sandwich.
Oh, yes.
And the JVO and the Car Con Carne burger.
Yes.
So yeah, Josh and I appeared in an episode together with Tyler to try each other's sandwiches. It was a glorious event. I'm still full.
I'm still full. I haven't eaten since then, even though it was like 3 years ago.
That's right.
He just kept bringing food to the table.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing to do to James.
It's vaguely sadistic. Like, I feel like I should be wearing a ball gag when I go to Epic Deli. Like, what kind of torture is Tyler going to put me through? Tyler, I've been bad. Bring me more poutine.
Oh, yeah. Gnocchi poutine.
Oh, man. It's been far too long since I've been up there to Epic Deli. Are you doing... You're doing, you know, you can eat indoors there, right?
Yeah. In our area, the rule is just you can have tables out. They just all have to be 6 feet from each other. So, yeah, we've got some sporadically placed tables all over.
I went there a couple months ago, ate outside. I took my son there, and we had, what was that burger we had? Because it was transcendent. It was the thing of dreams.
The Ken Jennings burger.
Yes.
Yeah.
Explain what that is, because that I'm still lusting over that.
That one we still have it on the menu too. It's a double smash burger, and then we make like a French onion soup reduction. We just take like a whole pot of French onion soup and cook it for like 9 hours, and then make it into like a jam. We put that on there, and then we make a cheese curd skirt with just like a handful of cheese curds on the flat top. And then it has like a red miso Kewpie aioli, and that was about it. Yeah.
So Josh,
and Gruyere cheese too. Yes.
So Josh, why don't we make a date? Like, you and I can plan to take some years off the end of our lives, and we can go to Epic Deli and we'll meet. We'll have have some epic food when this all shakes out.
Should we do that purely for fun, or should we make another podcast episode out of it? You're getting back in the car pretty soon, right?
I want to. I think I was premature. I started to jump the gun. I wanted to make tonight a return to the car, but I feel like the world's not quite there yet. I think the interest or responsiveness level isn't quite there yet. And I wanted to space it out a little while longer.
Yeah. You got to show that vaccine card to get in JVO's car.
That's right. Sorry. Yeah. I'll start carding people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you
Sorry.
go.
You're only, through your first Moderna. We got to wait. Got to wait. We got 4 more weeks.
Only swab anyone who gets into your car.
Exactly.
That's right. Although, yeah. All right. I'm going to cut both of you loose. I love you both. Thank you for you. Both of you have been on this show so many times, and your presence always delights me. Both of you for so many different and same reasons. Josh Caterer of Smoking Popes, Josh Caterer of Josh Caterer, Tyler Wildey of Epic Deli. Love you both. Thank you for coming on tonight.
Thank you,
Thanks
man.
for having me.
Love them. It is Car Con Carne, episode 600, the night of 1,000 stars. And when you think star, this guy right here, he's a drummer, he's an author, he's an entrepreneur, an educator, a consultant. He's the drummer on Nine Inch Nails' Grammy-winning song. What song?
Ballroom Blitz by
That's right. I totally forgot what song you're on.
Wish.
Jesus, Wish. I wrote out a script and I forgot to write the name of Wish. He's also a post-punk and industrial hero. Jesus, it's Martin Atkins. Lovely to see you. You were on episode 52, 438, and 490.
But who's counting?
I keep track of this stuff. I had to after a certain point. I had to start paying attention to this. And I'm always amazed when you jump on the show, Martin, because I swear you're one of the busiest people I know in the music industry.
Huh. Really?
You're the one beckoning us to get the fuck out of bed every morning.
I think it's us oldsters who are actually quite effing dangerous. I think a bunch of people were really hit hard by the pandemic, and those of us who've been through stuff just got up and carried on. Pivoted, adapted, and just kept going.
And we talked about that a lot the last time you were on, that pivoting and adapting and trying to find your way around it. I mean, you did you're always doing interesting things. You did the Scratch and Sniff music conference last year.
Yeah.
How did that turn out, by the way?
It was poetry to have, you got a Zoom meeting going on and everybody's just like doing their thing. But to have everybody with their cameras on going, number 3, banana, it was just to know that other people were smelling banana, burnt rubber, weed, money, allegedly. It was just this kind of interesting connection, It was great. It felt like a really good thing to do.
Now, as you were creating the presentation to be Scratch and Sniff, did you reverse engineer what you said to line up with the smells you wanted, or did you build the smells into what you had already created?
Wow. I had to, great things happen when you do stuff. Nothing happens when you don't, right? So I had the most interesting conversations with Michael Anthony Alago, who signed Metallica when he was 24, right? I'm like, we're doing this thing, Scratch and Sniff. What do you want your smell to be? And he's like, sweaty boys in a mosh pit. I'm like, yeah. So I end up on the phone with the Scratch and Sniff company. I'm like, do you have something like, I don't know, the ocean, sweaty boys? They sent me like garlic, cheese. It was just a really bad experience. And then Michael Alago got upset with me, because he didn't get the smell. It's like, listen, man, like these ridiculous conversations. But there was definitely, I knew the coffee smell. I could roll that into something. Hey, everybody, wake up! Smell Scratch number 7, coffee. And then sometimes with Michael Alago, because of the Metallica Fuel video, I found burning rubber. I'm like, fantastic! This will upset him, but it works. For the beginning of the video is a tire spinning around. So it was. The great thing about all of this stuff is you get a story. You you get a story.
The one thing I didn't mention when you jumped on, Martin Atkins, the man behind Pigface. Pigface made its way to the drive-in during the pandemic.
Well, we did, and then we didn't. We had the T-shirts made, paid the deposit, all of that stuff. But then people, this was, when was this?
It was like fall, right?
Yeah. And then people are like, hey, I don't have a car. Who can I jump in with? And we're like, well, no, you shouldn't be jumping in a car with people you don't know. And people are like, yeah, we're coming down from upstate Michigan. We're like, no. And in the end, we're just like, it's just not smart for us to do this.
I didn't realize it didn't go on.
No, I mean, we really, really wanted to do it. The problem with having a band like Pigface, well, there's a few. But one of them is once you let all the barriers down and people join you on stage and you just wander around in the audience for 2 hours before the show, or you let people come to rehearsals, you just walk around hugging everybody. Well, when you can't do that, it gets difficult. And also, one of the other difficult things for me is Pigface has always been a statement for me of like, look, blah, 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 talk, type. But here's Pigface. Here's this madly diverse musical, ethnic, all different kinds of people from all over the world of different kinds of aptitudes and abilities. And that was my statement, not talking about I'm going to make a statement. And so to not be standing on stage with Pigface and 40 people on stage and just look around and go, fuck yeah, it's really tough. I'm looking forward to doing that at some point soon.
Oh, for sure. And I think we're all tired of the drive-in concept. Scott Lucas of Local H will join us at some point tonight. He
Those
figured
guys
it out.
Are killing it.
Oh my!
Did you want to hear my story about that?
Yeah.
And you've got to ask me about. I've got to give you a link to something as well.
Okay.
But I'm going back 20 years. Somebody from Caroline Distribution called me. They're like, what the hell are you doing with Pigface and everybody on your label? These guys in Local H have eBayed a concert. And you could book them at a club. They'll play in your basement or a barbecue. Do something. And so we ended up, our response to that was to eBay a wedding on stage with Pigface. And we've had loads of people get married on stage with us since then. But Scott and Local H were kind of the kindling for that whole idea to take place.
I think once you as an artist decide not to take yourself too seriously, you open yourself up to all kinds of creative and innovative ideas.
Right. And you can get more serious.
Yes, exactly right. Exactly right. All right. So what am I supposed to remind you about?
So I spent the last 3 years working on the new music industry program at Millikan University, which is 2 hours south of Chicago. And so we have this new program where you don't have to audition on an instrument. You don't have to have any traditional instrumental skills, which I think we all know lowers the traditional barriers to acceptance into a program or into a university. So not only are we doing that, but there's a full ride scholarship to a 4 effing year university. There's also some smaller scholarships, but this starts in the fall, and anybody that's interested, I think Molly's going to drop a link in the Facebook chat or something. But it's deadly serious. We're doing some great things with the program, putting students on a tour bus with Pigface. We did that in 2019.
How is their room?
How's what room?
How is there room for students on a Pigface tour bus?
Well, we had a second bus.
I
mean, there's all kinds of health and safety issues with putting any extra people on a Pigface bus. People think, oh, it's luxury, but it's just basically a glorified cattle car, really.
True enough.
Yeah.
So you are our de facto guide through the music industry. You're an educator. You're a teacher. You've written books on how to navigate through the music industry. The question, I'm sure I've asked you this, and I'm sure you've been asked plenty over the past year. Where do we go from here? Now that we're emerging from all this, how do we as a music industry move forward?
Well, so this is one of the advantages of being old, right? I remember when drum machines emerged on the scene. Somebody called me and said, that's it for you, Martin? Drum machines. I'm like, oh, no, there's a machine it's over for me until I heard the first Doctor rhythm. Boop, 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 beep, did, boop, boop, beep, did, boop, right? But as drum machines have got better, it's just made people less accepting of shitty drumming. And so I think that's what's going to happen next. It's like, if I go to a show and people are phoning it in or zooming it in on stage, I'm not going to walk out, I'm going to walk on stage and start punching people. Like, we've lost this for so long. You better be giving it everything you've got, because there are people who might not be able to do this anymore, who lost their chance to do it over the last 18 months. And you're taking their spot and it's mediocre. There's no place for mediocrity anymore. Right. I think things are getting smaller and more intimate and also larger. But I think people have seen the value of creating these small communities, even though they can be all over the world, and going with these small communities. And so people have reworked their idea of what success means. I mean, it can't mean 1,000 people in a room for a while, so you have to enjoy it for some other reasons and find some different hope and some different reasons within it. But I think it's been devastating for much of the industry. It's been galvanizing for other parts of the industry. And what's going to emerge will be this combination of both. I think I've told you before, the next time I'm drumming, there'll be some waterproof Ziploc bag computer next to my mirror ball, and I'll have a Zoom session of people going, the hell is he doing? Asking me questions in the chat. Can't talk now, I'm drumming. It's going to change a lot of things. But it's going to be glorious when it happens. It's going to be great to get out there and hug people.
It is. And I think the point you just made is so important. This past year sucked for all the reasons we all understand, but I think it's important. A lot of us learned how to do new things and create new things. It's important to take the good shit that we learned over the past year and apply it to business as usual.
Right.
Whether it's you zooming behind the kit or whatever. I mean, I'm going to keep doing video interviews like this because it's a really effective way for me to do this podcast.
And so it's not going to devalue the live experience. It's just going to be like, wow, it's going to create a more intimate setting if you do something like this live, with a live audience. It's like, oh, okay. Each one of these is a breadcrumb leading people to the live event. I just had a great class with an old student of mine, Luis Carrasquero, gave me a class on NFTs today. Gave me a little tutorial, like an hour-long session. I'm like, there's so much new and interesting stuff going on. And so, yeah, we'll look forward to seeing the next 600 episodes of Car Con Carne. And,
the NFT thing, it's, all of a sudden over the past 6 months, people are like, what the fuck is an NFT? Can I buy that with a Dogecoin? What am I even saying anymore? I don't understand anything. The world's gotten too confusing.
Right. But it's like, I tell my students all the time, you think you're graduating, you think this learning curve is over, I'm done with education. You're just starting. It's every day, every week is another learning curve. Like, oh no, what do we have to learn now? Where's the mute button on my Zoom? Here you are on StreamYard, which is on my list to jump into.
It's a little pricier than going Zoom. You can do the branding.
You can do some stuff, and yeah.
Oh yeah, look at this. Whoa, hey, whoa. How about that? Yeah. Okay, we're not fucking around now. This is legit. You said something before I let you go. The last time we talked, and I've tried to paraphrase this and failed miserably. You talked about basically putting good out into the world and how it comes back to reward you as a creator and as a business owner. Do you know where I'm going with this? Because I thought it was so insightful, and it's helped inform a lot of the way I've conducted myself since we talked.
Oh, thank you. Well, it almost sounds like a religious vibe, it's a little bit Good Samaritan, but it's also strategic. If you want to do something to elevate your career, you're fucked. You're screwed. What can you do? The people whose attention you think you want to get are being bombarded with other people like you, 60,000 songs a day uploaded to Spotify, people just desperate to get somewhere. But meanwhile, there are people banging around who would just like you to listen to a song, smile, give them a time of day, spend some time, help them out, and that's easier for you to do. It's
Night of 1,000 Stars. It's Carcon Carne, Martin Atkins of Pigface. There he is.
Eventually, this stuff will come back to you. It just will. And I see people all the time. You were nice to my son 22 years ago at a Pigface show. But here he is now, and he wants to send you a new thing that he makes. Like, just stuff. It doesn't come back immediately sometimes, but it's gratifying immediately, And the interesting thing is, you do small stuff and it makes a difference. I end up on these international conference calls with people from all over the world, telling them about this tiny, small, local stuff I've been doing. So just by staying local and making an impact, you end up telling that story globally.
All right. So Martin Atkins, what are you working on now?
NFTs.
You are?
Yeah. We're working on NFTs, and we're opening a new museum, which will be partially run by students, be part of the program at Millikan. So if you want to work at my a museum in Chicago, there'll be an internship through the university. It's the Museum of Post-Punk and Industrial Music, and we already have a founder's T-shirt, which is $125. It's a ridiculously expensive shirt, but it gets you in to the pre-opening events, listening events, things that I can't play for public consumption. Although I think we will be able to once we're a bona fide museum. But just this idea of preserving some of these things that I just walk into every day and formalizing the home for that has been really electrifying. And so I'm working on that, working on new curriculum. I'm also working on not drinking. I'm like 75 days into that.
Good for you.
And trying to get fit for whatever comes next. 16 pounds down already from my pandemic, sad pandemic weight.
We're all there with you.
Yeah. So next I'll be on the elliptical again and fucking things up by the end of the year, hopefully.
Hell yes. Martin Atkins, again, you performed drums on the Grammy-winning song Wish. I can't believe that just left my head as I'm talking to you. Like I've never listened to that song before.
Well,
it's going to haunt me. You know that stuff, like for a broadcaster. That's like
there's so many of songs you could have mentioned. I could go that route.
True. Fair enough. Martin Atkins, I delight in listening to you share wisdom. I think you're truly an original, and I love talking to you. Thank you for being part of episode 600.
Thank you so much for having me, and congratulations, man. Like, it's people don't know, right? I'm sure when you got to 100, you're like, oh my God, what am I doing?
Yeah.
600. Next is 1,000.
That's right. And you'll be here for that, I hope.
Yeah, of course.
All right, Martin, thank you so much.
Nice to see you.
Martin Atkins, just read his books. If you are a musician or anyone in the orbit of the music industry, his books are essential to your understanding and navigating through this messy music industry business. It is Car Con Carne, episode 600. Oh my God, brought to us by our friends at Siren Records, McHenry. Love that place. I love the guests we've had so far. And I'm joined now by a group that has been with us for a couple episodes of Car Con Carne. It is Broken Robots. You've heard them in episode 309. You've heard them in episode 423. Here they are on their CD, Home Is Not a Place. Tony and Kat, nice to see you both.
Nice to see you too. It's really good to see you. Yeah.
One of my favorites, a weird way to say it, one of the more interesting, compelling episodes I think that has ever been put out on Car Con Carne was the first time I had you on, where we learned the Broken Robots story, the story of the truly bottoming out hard times you went through before you found each other and pulled yourself up out of the mess. And to see you here today, and I follow you on social media, I see how active you are and how productive you are. I'm always heartened to see what you're up to, knowing the shit you were in not all that long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome. Yeah. That episode we did, like, it kind of like set the tone for a lot of stuff for the next year, actually. So that was pretty awesome. It was just like, kind of like got the ball rolling, even though like right after that, everything stopped.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think that was the first time a lot of people got to hear our story and kind of see what we were all about.
And I remember before we started talking, I didn't want to be sensational. I didn't know if it would make you uncomfortable, but you were very clear and very forthright. And I love the fact that you've kind of taken the role of setting an example.
You know, for me, and I'll get in and out of this. Thank you for recognizing that. Yeah, for me, transparency is the biggest thing. Like, I had to find a balance too. I don't want to be too, just the nature of the beast can be kind of some sensationalized, but I'm just trying to be honest and transparent and come across, just who I am. And I'm really glad that that's what's happening. So thank you. That's cool. Cause I'm always worried that it's going to be over the top, because it's just the truth.
Well, I mean, in following you on social media, Tony, you just got new teeth.
I
right?
did.
Look at those choppers. Oh my God. So were you completely, I didn't realize at the time, did you not have teeth at all when
I didn't have one tooth when I met you.
I wasn't even aware of that.
James, listen, it's kind of traumatic because, for the last 5 years, I was so insecure about it. I was ashamed that I've trained myself. Every time I would smile or laugh or think something's funny, I would train my lips to do a thing where you couldn't really tell, because I had to be in public all the time. So it's like, that's kind of damaging to the brain. I didn't realize it until I got my teeth. Now I'm smiling all the time. It's like I can't stop making people laugh because they're like, oh my God. But like my brain, I have to retrain my brain, and it's okay to smile. It's okay to laugh. So it's a really interesting place to be.
Wait, yeah. And we went for punchki that night. Were you eating punchki in the car?
Pretending to, yeah.
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
He can eat like without teeth. It's actually, it's not that uncommon. Like, a lot of people get really good at hiding this type of stuff,
especially after drug use.
Yeah, with drug use, with the different things that happen to your body, like, deterioration of your health and poor hygiene habits, to be frank, like, that's what happens. It's just something that happens when you use drugs. So, but Tony's making strides. We also quit smoking. This is a big deal for us.
No more cigarettes, James.
This is a huge deal for us, because that was the last big boss that we had.
Big vice, yeah.
It was like, we couldn't break from it. We didn't even realize the smoking, it like controls your whole life, just like drugs do. It's just more socially acceptable,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we feel great. It's been about 3 months.
So as we're recording this on April 26th. You just performed this past weekend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where was that, and how did that feel?
Go ahead.
So it was like kind of an off the cuff thing. Like, we got the opportunity, really we saw that Warp Corps was doing this festival in Woodstock, and we're big fans of Warp Corps and what they're doing. They're trying to help build community with skating and music. And if you go to Woodstock, the Woodstock Square, there's the Warp Corp skate shop, and there's just all kinds of cool stuff going on there all the time for the community and kids to, have cool things to do in that area besides drugs. And it's amazing. So we saw that they were holding a benefit show to help build this community center, this skate park and music venue that they want to build. And we were like, we want to get on that. It was outdoors. People who were in masks who wanted to, and that's just, how it was. And we felt confident, the whole thing, it was just positive vibes, all different kinds of people coming together for a good cause. And, it was live streamed too for people who didn't, who didn't want to, chance it. They could still be part of the show, could still donate.
That was really important to us. So yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. And them at Warp Corps, they put it all together with Liquid Blues. It's a bar out in Woodstock. Really great people.
Yeah.
Big shout out to them.
Yeah, it was a great experience.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I was just talking about with Martin Atkins of Pigface. This notion of taking the good shit we learned in 2020 and beyond and applying it to our future efforts. I mean, the idea of live streaming shows moving forward, I love it for people who can attend, for people who just want access that for whatever reason can't be part of it. I would love to see that pull through to the whatever the new normal is.
Yeah, I think the hybrid show is going to be common for a while. I think the hybrid show is going to be the thing for a little bit here.
Yeah.
So did I see, are you also doing some production work like with other bands?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Actually, we're right in the middle of it.
We're
you?
actually with the band right now. We took a little break to come speak with you. They shout out, say hi. They're called Nora Marks.
Oh yeah.
Really cool. Yeah. You'll hear it. We're really excited about this. It's like a lot of guitar stuff.
I fell in love. You like Alkaline Trio, and they're big fans of them. It's great. They got their own vibe or their own taste. I love it. It's been so much fun. Both of us producing this has been awesome.
Yeah.
And it's been a good. I know you have a good partnership as songwriters, but production partnership that's holding up okay.
Oh yeah.
You're not stepping on each other's toes.
It's gonna happen a little bit, but we're pretty good with each other. We have different opinions and different styles and things that we like, but we've been working together on music for so long, and Tony's taught me everything I know on Pro Tools. So we already have kind of this working relationship that just kind of naturally transfers over to production work similarly.
Yeah, it's great because, at this point now, Kat can take over on Pro Tools, and I can kind of get more involved, like hands-on with the guitars or drums and stuff like that. Before I would be tied to the machine, and it's hard, and vice versa. Kat can work with them, and it's a really nice workflow. It's really great.
Yeah.
One thing I learned during the pandemic is my computer can't support anything like Pro Tools.
Okay.
I've seen so many beach balls over the past 12 months that
oh my God, yeah.
My audio editor of choice is Audacity. That's all I can.
Good. It works.
Hey, yeah.
If you know it, then that's all you need.
That's the thing, GarageBand, depending on what you're trying to do, that kind of stuff is great for all kinds of things. You need more of a heavy duty system to run Pro Tools.
Yeah, it's pretty intense.
Yeah.
I want like a Pentagon level hard drive.
I think we just got that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're it's me and Tony and our bass player Lonnie and my brother Brian also, and all of us have pitched in to kind of upgrade the equipment over the past year where we can.
Because we're kind of forced out. We're right on the outskirts now of the city because we had problems with things during the quarantine, so we had to leave and kind of move back in with her grandma, and we're facilitating all this in a garage that we've pretty much just hollowed out and made a studio, and it's worked out actually better than the apartment back in the city. We actually finished the EP that we're going to tell you about that we're about to release.
Try to fit it all in.
Well done, Tony.
We finished that EP here, and it was started in the apartment, and then all this stuff happened, and then we came here and got regrounded. I lost my mind for about 2 months. I thought everything was over. It was all over, and then Kat kind of pulled me out of that, and we just kept their heads down, built the studio, got some clients, got some people, some fans in here that write their own music, and it just took off, and things have been good.
As you mentioned, losing it for a couple of months. Reason number 9 million. I'm so glad you two found each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't want to sound cheesy, but I would have been done if I didn't have her.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say.
The past 13 months has been hard on everybody, especially hard on musicians. But for both of you recovering addicts, when you're stuck at home in your head, I'm sure it was incredibly challenging.
Yeah, it's Trigger City, but
yeah,
you learn, when you take recovery really serious in the early first 2 years, you get a lot of tools, you get a lot of ways to kind of break out and look at it objectively before you do something stupid. And it's been a huge help during this quarantine. So it's my recovery tools came to play. So.
All right. Well, Broken Robots new EP on the way. Thanks for jumping on for episode. Oh wait, but there's more.
There's more. Well, we're not
doing that. Okay,
no.
Never mind.
Sorry.
Save it for a later date.
Wait.
Okay, fair enough. Broken Robots, thank you so much for doing this tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, James.
Bye, James.
My pleasure. Bye. It is Car Con Carne, episode 600, The Night of 1,000 Stars. And we move on to a guy whose voice just brings me to a standstill every time I hear it. He is Nathan Graham. He was heard on episode 71, 74, and 391. You can find him at nathangrahammusic.com. Truly one of Chicago's most engaging performers, a fantastic songwriter and guitarist. We saw you on The Voice back in 2017, and I'm not saying your career is on a downward trajectory, but you're here on Car Con Carne now.
Well, I actually like doing this way more.
So it's a little windy by your apartment.
It is. It is very, yeah, very much so.
but you have good natural light going. So why mess with that?
Yeah, well, there's also a room here. Hang on. Let's move that. Okay.
And you are a dude who can rock a hat and rock a beard.
Thank you.
You really, you've got to look. So a busy year, all things considered, for Nathan Graham. We got Fake Friends, which has this soulful vibe, this fantastic chorus, just a rollicking, wonderful song. And you covered "I Shall Be Released."
That's right.
The band song. That I love your version of that.
Yeah. I was so it's funny because Fake Friends has a chorus, but it doesn't have a chorus. Like there's no it's a wordless chorus, so it's like but everybody thinks like, oh man, I love the hook, and it's just like, well, it doesn't really have one, but okay.
Well, I mean, you can argue that a hook is just a memorable part of a song.
Exactly. Yeah. And then "I Shall Be Released," I recorded that with I think Joe George has been on your show. He also goes as Joe Shadid. I don't know if
I don't think so, but I'm going to feel awful if I'm wrong.
Oh no, I have no idea. But if you haven't, you should. But
fair enough.
Yeah, we recorded it with him, and we were kind of talking about all the stuff that happened this year, and just like being under the heavy weight of all the COVID stuff, and also, oh geez, okay,
that's for real.
Yeah,
do you need to get into a basement or away from a window?
No, it's not that bad. But we were talking about all the stuff that happened with COVID, and then everything that was happening with like George Floyd and all the protests that were happening. We just thought it was a really good idea to do that song, and because it just made so much sense.
So was the past year, I mean, this was true for a lot of musicians. Was the past year a chance to woodshed? Were you just kind of working on your songs? Did you feel the urge to write and create?
You know what? It's weird because usually you think, oh, I have all this time now, but then you kind of have this weight of, will I ever get to do this again? Will I ever get to like play live again? And then you start to kind of get nervous about it. And it does kind of hinder you a little bit. You do get really in your own head about everything. And then you're just kind of like, you're trying to write songs, but then you get these like bursts of inspiration, and then there's nothing, for maybe a month or so, and you start feeling like, oh my God, I got to do something. I got to create, I got to produce something. But it's like, it wasn't a normal year for anybody. So
yeah,
I don't necessarily think that you have to do that. But yeah, I did work on a lot of stuff. I'm actually working on a lot more now as we're coming out of it, because I feel more hopeful for the future. I just got my second vaccination on Thursday, so I'm very much like, oh my God, it's about to happen. It's coming.
I'm so glad. I was talking about this with Josh Caterer earlier. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize how emotional I would feel getting my vaccine. I was hit with all kinds of emotions and thoughts about what it represented and where I was at and what had come before. I thought it was a profoundly emotional, 30 seconds.
Yeah. I mean, 30 seconds is right. I mean, we went in that line, I got in, and it was just like, go this way, go that way. Okay. Boop. And then you're done. And it was like, and then the longest time that it spent was the 15 minutes where you did that observation thing where it's like, just in case you freak out, but it was, I mean,
it was the chill out tent, like at a festival. Yeah.
But it was really emotional. Like the first shot, I was like, okay, I got the first shot. Okay, cool. The second shot, I was just the weight that had been lifted off my shoulders, and just being like, okay, at some point I'm going to be able to do this live again. At some point I'm going to be able to hug my friends again. Yeah. And actually, oddly enough, this past weekend, I played a show with my buddy Joe over at Talia Hall. And they're doing like a socially distanced, like 20-person sort of thing, and it's getting on stage again was emotional.
I bet.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'm telling you something you don't already know, but I think a full-length album is long overdue.
Yeah, that's coming. The reason why we didn't necessarily want to put it out during COVID, because I really wanted to be able to tour right after I announced it. So once everything opens back up 100%, then we'll be good. and we'll get
Awesome.
that out.
All right. Nathan Graham, nathangrahammusic.com is the website. I adore you. I'm really glad you were able to pop on tonight.
Thank you. And congratulations to 600 shows. Thank
you, sir.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. All right. We'll talk soon. I can't wait to hear more new music coming from you.
All right, man. Thank you.
Thank you, Nathan.